In a world where giants seem unbeatable and challenges impossible, an old story reminds us that the size of your faith is more important than the size of your problems. This is the story of David and Goliath, a tale of courage, faith, and how the small can defeat the big. Ready to be inspired? Let's begin. Thousands of years ago, in the land of Israel, two armies faced each other: the Israelites, God's people, and the Philistines, their feared enemies. Between the two armies was a valley, and there, in the middle of the battlefield, a challenge arose that would change everything. The Philistines had a secret weapon, a giant named Goliath. He was almost 10 feet tall, wore armor weighing over 120 pounds, and his sword was so big that few could even lift it. Every day, Goliath stood before the Israelite army and shouted, "Send your best warrior. If he defeats me, we will be your slaves. But if I win, you will be our slaves." For 40 days Goliath challenged the Israelites, and for 40 days no one dared to face him. Fear gripped the army of Israel, including King Saul, their leader. Meanwhile, in the hills of Bethlehem, a young shepherd named David was tending his sheep. David was not a soldier, not even a warrior. He was the youngest of 8 brothers, but he had something that made him special: an unshakable faith in God. David had spent years protecting his sheep from lions and bears. With only a slingshot and his faith, he had faced dangers that many could not even imagine. One day, his father sent him to the battlefield to bring food to his brothers, who were soldiers in the army of Israel. Upon arriving, David heard Goliath's shouts and saw how everyone trembled with fear. But David was not afraid. Instead he asked, "Who is this Philistine to defy the armies of the living God?" His brothers mocked him. "What are you doing here, little one? Go back to your sheep." But David was not intimidated. He knew that God was with him. News that a young shepherd wanted to face Goliath reached King Saul. Surprised, Saul called David and said, "You cannot fight Goliath. You are just a boy, and he is a seasoned warrior." But David replied, "When I was tending my sheep, a lion and a bear came to attack them. I killed them with my own hands, and I will do the same with this Philistine. God, who saved me from the claws of the lion and the bear, will save me from Goliath." Impressed by David's faith, Saul offered him his armor. But David, upon trying it on, realized that he could not move in it. "I am not used to this," he said, and set it aside. Instead of swords and shields, David took only his slingshot and 5 smooth stones from the stream. With his slingshot in hand and his faith in God, David approached Goliath. The giant, upon seeing him, laughed heartily. "Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks?" shouted Goliath. "Come here, and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air." But David did not flinch. In a firm voice he replied, "You come to me with a sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, whom you have defied. Today, the Lord will deliver you into my hands." Goliath approached, ready to finish David off in an instant. But David, with the calmness of one who trusts in God, took a stone, placed it in his slingshot, and hurled it with all his might. The stone flew straight to Goliath's forehead, and the giant fell to the ground, defeated. The Philistines, seeing their champion fallen, fled in terror. The Israelites pursued them and won the battle. David, the young shepherd, became a hero. The story of David and Goliath is not just an ancient tale. It is a lesson for all of us. It teaches us that no matter how big our challenges are, with faith and determination, we can overcome them. We all have giants in our lives: fears, insecurities, problems that seem impossible to overcome. But like David, we can trust that we are not alone. Faith gives us the courage to face the impossible. So the next time you feel small in the face of a big challenge, remember, it's not about your size, but the size of your faith. You too can defeat your giants. Thank you for joining us for this incredible story. If it inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to remember that giants can be defeated. See you next time.